After I do, I do, I do, after I do. Ladies and gentlemen, right back in your ass with another episode. I don't know why I said in your ass.
I don't know.
You know, I was just, for some reason, I was thinking about toilet paper, and then we're here with another episode of After I Do the podcast, and excited. In this particular episode, we want to talk about money. I don't think we've had the money conversation. I don't know, because
but you know it's always relevant. Let's go.
There's always value to having a conversation about money. There was somebody that inboxed us something that had an issue with a question about, when to buy a house, this, that, and the other. So I wanted to bring up the money conversation. And I don't, to me, I think there's a bigger picture where I think we as a community have to disconnect ourselves from what mainstream society, the American dream, right? This whole idea of the American dream, and that you need to be in a house, and that you need to do these things in order to achieve success, and what success looks like to other people, right? I was on a feed recently, and this feed got political, and then somebody, a gentleman, a white male who was older, wrote in the comment feed. I wish I could have what he wrote verbatim, but I'm going to, what do you call it? Paraphrase. Thank you so much. But he was basically saying, well, I don't know what that's like from where I am on the 15th floor of blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, oh, wait, and he said, because I'm rich. And so he did say, because I'm rich. And so I responded that, well, your perspective is very poor, right? And anybody who points to their wealth in response basically isn't very rich at all. And so,
Did that spark some conversation?
Well, whatever it was, I kind of dipped off, because I was like, I'm not going to waste my time engaging people who think like this. It just is no value for me.
Right.
He was beneath me, and so I'm a high level thinker. I'm a critical thinker. And that was a waste of my time to even be over there.
Exactly.
I do not associate with lowlifes, but I think that we have to disconnect ourselves from chasing what other people's idea of wealth looks like. Always to have these things with the real value of money is having it when you need it, right? Let's stop chasing brand names and chasing brand ideas.
Right.
Brand name is one thing. The problem is a lot of us continue to chase brand ideas, and people look at me, and one of the things that I'm clear on is that I'm very successful, right? I get to wake up every day and continue to pursue the thing that I believe is my purpose, which is entertaining people and creating platforms of value that help people elevate their spirit through entertainment, right? When you have that kind of clarity and you get to do it, even if it's a struggle, right? Like, I am married to somebody that I believe in, that I care for deeply, that I love, that I get to have sex with maybe 5 times a year.
Shut up.
6 times a year. But it's good. It's good. Those 6 times are good.
Shut up.
And guess what? I have 3 young men who value my relationship with them, who seek me out for wise counsel, and who I look on with great pride because I've co-nurtured them in a way that, right, their relationship to me as the half of their parenthood experience, right, has them positioned to go off and, right, add value to our society as a whole. And so, as much as we're inundated and overwhelmed with, but you still need a membership to this country club that costs $250,000 a year.
Right.
But you still would look so much better if you pulled up in a Rolls Royce Wraith, or if you, right, dumped your wife and got a younger female, right? Blah, 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 blah. All of these things that become, the last one was for me mostly, but I don't know why I put that in there.
I do not know.
But, right, there are things that I think ultimately about addressing places of emptiness inside of us as individuals. Mm-hmm. Right? These things
that money can buy.
These things that money can buy mm-hmm. are mostly about trying to fill a void within ourselves based on our experiences growing up, how we grew up and where we grew up, and the messaging, right? I look at these rappers mostly and some athletes as well who embrace this mentality of, right, because I came from a certain place, I need now take this wealth that I've accumulated right. and put it into things that I can wear to show you, right,
I made it.
That I have value, but mm-hmm. to who?
Right.
But to who? And so for me, right, in hindsight, it's like we only have one life to live.
That's
At
it.
50 years old, right, it's easy to go, man, I wish I could go back and do these things differently. Or I can embrace that, the next how many years I have left is an opportunity to now apply the things that I learned right. and course correct, pivot, which is a big word for me, to pivot and start to make the adjustments along the way so that, you don't need a Rolls Royce Wraith, right? You can find something economical that you can pay for outright. I'd rather pay mm-hmm. $30,000 for a car and own it outright than be attached to the payments of a $400,000 car, Oof. Right? That's going to depreciate as soon as I drive it off the lot. And I don't have to wake up every morning concerned about whether I can make this payment or not, right? Because anytime you have to wake up and make a payment on something, right, if it's causing undue stress on you, look at COVID-19.
Right.
All of these people who thought that they would be gainfully employed.
With all their toys.
With all of the toys. Because we start to go outside. Oh, you know what? And I know we get into this fight. We get into this fight all the time. Or mm-hmm. we used to get into this fight where I say, listen, if I can't afford it outright, outside of the house, especially with a car. I'm big on when I go to get another car, I'm going to pay for it outright. I'm not going to have a payment because I don't have to think about that relationship.
But here's the thing. I understand your thought process on that. If you want to buy a car, I would rather you say, I can afford to buy the car outright and it's in this savings account and I will continue to make payments on it. Only because shit happens. The car could get totaled. Now you've paid $50,000 for a car. Now they're only going to give you back 30. Like if you were only in your first year of payment, they're not going to ask you for the rest of the money. So there's two ways of looking at it. It's very smart to have it, but I'm not a fan of giving it all away at once. I'm just not. And I think that's where we have to come to a happy medium, because your way is great, but you just never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? And we all know once you drive off the lot, the car depreciates. So why are you going to pay outright for something and you're not guaranteed?
Because you can afford it.
I know, but why would you you don't know what's going to happen. I would rather make the same amount of payments and have it in an account. And if everything goes smoothly, they get their last payment. God forbid it's wrecked or whatever, your payment stops. You don't have to think about that. What we're going to do, we're going to replace your car, blah, blah, blah.
But that's the difference between buying a car from a dealership and paying money to secure insurance on a car. Because if you buy a car and you're making from a dealership, right, and you have a relationship with a bank, right, to make payments on that car,
right,
you still have a responsibility to make payments on that car, even if you get in a wreck.
They will pay it out. That's what the insurance is for.
Sure.
So I'm saying, but why would you give them the whole 40 when you don't have to? They're going to continue. The insurance is going to take over.
I think you're missing the print. My argument is that I can afford it. Right. I have the money, and here it is. and I'm still going to have insurance on this car. So now I don't have a relationship with a bank or with a dealership.
Gotcha.
I only have a relationship with the person who insures my car. But this car is now completely owned by me. And so I'm minimizing the people who I have to put money out to. So
Right.
I become my own bank.
I hear what
and
you're saying.
The whole value of this is, the value proposition is, I know what I can afford. The other way is, oh, you know what? Because I'm making payments, I'm going to now stretch myself to go a little bit beyond what I can afford. So now, instead of a $30,000 car, which I have the cash for outright, now I'm going to go buy a $50,000 car on the premise that I'm going to continue the same work habits. The job is going to continue to be there. And so therefore, the money is going to continue to come in on a twice bi-monthly basis, so that I can continue to make this payment.
All I'm saying is I understand what you're saying. I just didn't.
But hold on, let me finish. And now with COVID being in place, you have people who have embraced that mentality to say, oh, I can afford to go a little bit beyond my limits, are now in a place where they go, well, damn, now I don't have an income.
But did you hear what I was saying? I understand you have the money. I'm just saying I wouldn't pay for it outright. I would still make the payments.
But why?
Because I am a big fan of keeping my cash. That's it. Because just like you said, COVID, why am I going to continue to pay a car payment if they're saying, hey guys, we're going to put it on the back end, whatever. I would rather save my money.
I wouldn't spend, look, I'm not going to go and spend $30,000 on a car if all I have is $30,000.
Right. Okay.
Right? What I'm saying is, if I got $70,000, I would rather pay $30,000 for my car outright and be done with that. And now focus, I got $40,000, and that's going to carry me, through whatever the rest of my journey is, until as I continue, obviously, to look forward to build more wealth.
Well, here's
but
the
at least
thing.
I got $40,000 to help cushion whatever the difference is going to be.
I bought a car, a brand new Range Rover, and it was a lemon. And I did exactly what you said. I bought it outright cash. And I had to fight so long with them regarding replacing the car or giving me my money back. And they didn't want to do either. You were a part of that process. It took months for them to finally, because they felt like it, replaced the car. But I'm still out of, how much did I pay for that car? Like 55, I paid maybe 59 grand, almost 60 grand cash because I had it. But I think I come from a different place, because nobody can,
But
believe.
the question is, was it your only 60 grand? Were you completely out of money after that 60 grand?
No, but it's
Right.
not. It doesn't feel good for somebody to have your 60 grand dangling and saying, "Oh, it's not a lemon. It's
But
not
that's
our
not
fault."
the standard. That's not the standard.
Exactly. But you have to prepare yourself for anything that could happen. If I'm buying a brand new car off the lot for 60 grand, there shouldn't be a windshield wiper off.
But that's different. That's not okay.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying. I
yes,
get everything
but if
that
I
you're
was
saying.
making payments, I would still have my 60 grand, because now you want to talk about you're not going to play. Okay, I didn't pay for it in cash. So what's this worst that's going to happen? You're going to mess up my credit for a ding because you don't want to pay me back for a car that's a complete lemon? Or you're going to have my 60 grand and now I have no car and I got to wait and I got to wait and I got to wait for you to decide. It took 3 to 4 months, and thankfully it was in my favor and they gave us a replacement car. And because that car was out of, like they weren't making that body frame, I got the newest one, which was great. It all worked out. But there are some cases where it does not work out and you're in court for 2-3 years fighting over a car you paid in full when you didn't have to pay for it in full right at that moment. Like, even if I would have put that 60 and said, you know what, let's make sure there's nothing wrong with this car and let me do 1 year of payments. And if everything's good, then I'll just pay the rest. The money is in the account. That's all I'm saying.
But again, I think for me, the problem with that is that
I've been
my
there.
argument. Say again?
I've been where you are, and that's why it doesn't feel good for me.
No, but okay, yeah, and that's valid for you. But I think my point is, I think we should open ourselves to embracing a mentality where we are less dependent on banks, right? We're less dependent on the value of, oh, I'm going to now involve a bank so that I can extend payments on things that don't have value long term, only because I've bought into a system of marketing and advertisement that is directly targeted me to tell me this is what success looks like if you have these things.
Right.
It's like the reality is like a car just gets you from A to B. Right. It's like I could go we had a Saturn. That Saturn cost $1,500. That Saturn ran like nobody's business. Yep. Right. The money that I put into another car or a new car after that Saturn probably was 30, 40, 50,000, whatever that number was. The $25,000 that was the difference between whatever that Saturn was and whatever the new car was, right, could have gone into something that could have created more wealth / value long term for us. And to me, the real wealth value proposition is about being in a space where psychologically, when you wake up in the morning, you're not rushing out the door to go do something that you don't enjoy, right? For the sake of getting money to pay for things that you can't enjoy because you're out chasing.
Right. It's a quality of life. That's what I said.
Do I need to say that again?
If you want to.
Okay. So the real wealth value proposition, I mean, again, it is about quality of life. So if you have all of these toys, if we went out and get an RV and put $10,000 down on a $200,000 RV,
right,
and now we're making payments of $1,500 a month, I got to get up every day, and the first thing on my mind is, how can I pay for this RV?
Right.
And guess what? The reality is, if I'm busy working trying to pay for it, we're not going to be able to go out and use it.
You sure ain't.
It's going to be parked somewhere losing value. And every day, people get up every day and go chase work to pay for things that they don't get the full value out of.
Nope. You are absolutely right. You know how many RVs are parked in people's driveways that
the car argument didn't work for you. I should have known to stick with the RV.
My thing is, I hear you. I would just say, give it a year and then pay it off. If you have the money, that's great. But because I've been burnt like that, I would like to buy my next car, make sure I have the money, like you're saying, but a year of payments is not going to hurt me. And I love the fact that whoever I am going to do business with, most of them don't have a prepayment penalty. So if there's no prepayment penalty, I don't see there's nothing wrong with having a pause, meaning give it 6 months to a year. If everything's working out, then pay it in full. But I've had a brand new car that was a lemon, and I can tell you it's not fun. Yeah. It is absolutely not fun.
Again, based on your argument, I understand it because that was a personal experience for you. But what I'm saying, just to be 100% clear,
I get it,
is I would prefer that people disconnect from that bank as an option thing to extend payments, because that's that fine line where they start to see this as an option. It's like, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I can't afford it, but I can afford it this way if I take on the payments, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like freaking, what is it called? Layaway. Oh my God. You have no idea how the disdain I have for layaway.
I get it.
It's like, I can't afford this thing. So let me go give this company, this corporation, pieces of my money.
Yep.
And let them make money on my money.
Until
I finally make a payment, and then they'll give it to me. But you didn't pay for the thing twice over now.
Just save your money at home. Yeah, I can tell you, I'm not a fan of layaway.
Or get the thing you can't afford at the time. I want this shearling coat that costs $3,000.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm going through winter with no coat. Right. How many times you seen people in New York? I want this shearling. Yo, I'm gonna give you $100 for the next 2 years. So I can get my shearling out the shop.
Right.
Right. Meanwhile, is a hooded coat right here that's probably twice as in terms of cold protection and keeping you warm. Right. That costs $300.
Because
catching a train to go pay for a coat.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't even say no. I'm about to get myself pissed off.
No, we just have to make sure, everybody likes the glitter and the glamour, but we can both attest to money doesn't make you happy, because as soon as you get the thing and the shininess is off of it,
Oh my goodness.
it loses its effect. It's like, okay, ooh, they got a new car. Then you pick me up in the car. It's just
Oh
a
my
car.
God.
So we are just bred to, maybe because, it's a lack thereof, like you were saying. So when you get it, you feel superior. You feel like I made it, but that feeling goes away really fast. And I would say that you should just save your money and buy the things that matter. Just like Royale said, we do not have much debt other than this house and maybe my car. That's it. And it in COVID, it has allowed us to manage on what little bit of savings we have and not be stressed because there's not a this bill and a that bill. Of course, we have the lights, the gas, the
Yeah,
the normal
basic.
stuff, the basic. But there's not a fur coat that we paying for. It's not an RV we're paying for. It's not some jet skis we're paying for. There's not a whole lot of extras that we've tacked onto our life because we understand, just like Royale said, we have to get up every day and pay for these things. And it's not fun. And I just told Royale that I want a quality of life. And if I had $5 million or more in the bank, I wouldn't be in California. I would be in my native land where my grandparents were born, in Tortola, Virgin Islands, with the rest of my family, chilling. When I say they are chilling, I didn't know how much they were chilling until I went this last visit. Chilling, not a care in the world, eating better food than we ever heard of, fresh out the ocean. All of them have homes. They're not stressed. And when you go there, you get annoyed because they don't rush. So when you're online, baby, you online. It's going to take as long as they take
a slower
because
way of life.
they're not rushing. There's no franchises over there. And I didn't get it until COVID. Now I get it. And a lot of them came here, as they say, they went to university. So they came over, they went to the NYUs, they went to wherever, and they took that knowledge. You know what they did? They took their asses right back to Tortola because they were here and they didn't like it. They didn't like it. And when I go there, I'm like, ew, how could they do this? What is there to do? I would kill myself. It's so boring. My last time, I did not want to leave because I finally get it. I was like, yo, this is so peaceful. You still have music. You still have food. You have friends. And they are, when I say happy, they are so happy.
It's interesting that we have a way of life here where we're hustling, bustling, 24, go, 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 go. And we say vacation, we go, oh, we want to go there so that we can slow down and rest and recover, only to come back to this, where it's the complete opposite then. Their lifestyle is nice and slow, this, and then they come here for excitement and then go right back there.
They go back home.
Oh, I got to go home.
They're good.
So, again,
they're very
you just don't
smart.
know the value of a good thing until you've had the opportunity to experience a different way of life.
Yeah.
But that comes to, again, quality of life and having the time to go experience those different things.
Absolutely.
So you know what different feels like.
Absolutely. And now I don't like to say the word envy, but I am almost a little envious of them because they're there right now during COVID. You can't come into their country. You can't come there right now. If you come, you have to quarantine. You're not going to bring that to them. They have very few cases. They don't have a Starbucks. They don't have McDonald's. They are run differently. They're not letting these big corporations come in and ruin what they have. And let me tell you something. And I'm so proud that my family is there. And now I get it. I get it. I would be with them if I had the money. And then I keep saying that, but what does the money bring you? The money is not going to bring me happiness, but I would have to start a new life. I would need somewhere to live, and I don't have to buy a house outright because these people are working in the souvenir shops. They're cooking food on the roadside. They're, catching fish. And when I tell you the smiles on their faces, they are way more happy than any millionaire here. Happy. And I get it. Oh my God. It's like a light bulb. I get it.
Well, yeah, I think people in this country have been fed this idea that wealth equals happiness. But you can look at people like Bernard Madoff. Is he still in prison? Is he even alive? Billionaire, right? Hedge fund manager ripping people off, right? All of this exclusive lifestyle, privilege, this and that. You can look at Jeffrey Epstein. What does that privilege and money get him? A broken neck in jail? Like death? right? Even at 50 something years old, nobody wants to go out the way he went out. That's ridiculous. So again, I am just in this space now where I wanted to make this point too, is like, it's so easy to like go into a dealership and pay for
Lease a
something.
car, yeah.
To pay for a car and feel good about that dopamine you get from, oh, look at me in my new car.
Yeah.
Right? That's a mentality that is indicative of people who don't see the value. You only see my worth when I'm connected to something
this.
shiny and
Correct.
new. But right, what does that say about how I see myself if that's the way I have to approach things? Right? It's like men who go out and get a new young girl, right? Because what does it say about you that you had to dump something else that you believed in to go get something younger and newer for people to see long-term
Like he the
value in
man.
you? Yeah, look at him. He cool now. He got a young girl. It's like, no.
Young girl.
So again, I just think this episode really is about, I wish there was a two-parter. Maybe we'll revisit again because there's so many other things that I wanted to talk about. Yes, it's layered, it's nuanced, but again, I think for me, I want people to embrace the value that you see in yourself.
Right.
The value you see in yourself. Real success is the success that you go out and build and achieve for yourself, void of what people need to see in you, right? Or see you with.
Right. Okay, that was great.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. That's the money conversation. Really was about wealth and value.
Yes.
So see the value in yourself, and we'll see the value in you subscribing and liking our page. We'll see you on the next episode of After I Do.
Bye.
We're out.